Alright, so this new project is going to have 3 legs to it. Each leg is going to be roughly about 2 feet long. I decided to use my new compass that I built and expand it out to being 2 feet. I then drew a circle on top of my welding table that you can see there. And all those stains, I know, that's just spilt coffee and blood and all sorts of stuff that's been happening on my welding table. Okay, let's get back to it. So I drew a 4-foot diameter circle all the way around the top of my welding table. Drew a straight line through the center of the circle. That was going to be my starting point. Now, since I'm going to have 3 legs evenly spaced, they have to be 120 degrees away from each other. And that's where you can see that little Y in the center of the screen. After I got that all marked, I decided that I need to build some plates for the casters. Well, I had some leftover stock 1/8 inch thick flat stock sheeting that I used on that bumper build. Well, luckily I can put 2 casters across, put the casters on the steel, mark it, and then I cut it out. Now, since I'm building 2 of these things, I'm going to need 6 mounting plates for the casters. So I decided to cut everything at once, stack it, and put it together with those little clamps to hold it together. Pulled out my grinder and started to grind some of the edges down. Knowing that I'm going to have to drill holes through all these, that it would be easier to weld them all together. You can see the weld bead on the side there. So I tacked them all together so I could take the clamps off and all the pieces would still stay together. I put 1 caster on top of those plates and then marked where I was going to drill the holes. Then brought it over to my drill press, drilled the holes, ground down the corners so the corners were rounded, and that's where we're at now. Then it was time to set up the frame for the legs. Now I'm taking these 3 bars here and they're cut at 24 and 5/8. I'm using clamps on all 3 legs so that way they don't move or shift or flex on me when I go to weld. Got these clamps at Harbor Freight. I can't tell you guys how nice they are. Later on in the video, I'll clarify what I'm really doing here, how I set this all up. So now, after I got the legs all welded together, it was time to tack on the mounting plates for the casters. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just simply eyeballing it, centering the plates onto the ends of the legs. Now I don't have the plates going all the way to the very tip end of the leg because I plan on putting in a nickel plated cap end in the very end of them. Alright, now if you look closely, you can see that I've got a tack weld on one end and tack on the other end of the plate just to hold it in place. Then I'm going to weld on the sides, on the top portion of the plate, making sure that the weld isn't going to interfere with the nut that's going to hold the caster on. Okay, just so that way you guys understand what I did here. You can see the circle, you see the line, you see the other line splitting off. Now remember, these are all 120 degrees from each other, or otherwise 30. So when I had these bars in here, wait, remember I welded the bottom first. See the line? I put the bar on the left side of the line, that bar on the left side of the line, that bar on the left side of the line, and it gave me this pattern. Then I took the feet, or the plates, tacked them, all 3, centered them and tacked them, and took the clamps off, flipped this upright, dabbed about a dime size right in the middle, and then welded, tacked one side, and then welded the other side. The reason is because if you don't tack one side, while this weld over here cools, it's going to cause the plate
to tilt, because these tacks that are on the bottom are along one axis, but so the plate is just going to tilt like this. So you're going to want to tack one side, weld this side, and then go over and weld that side. And that's the pattern.
And there we go. I think we'll stop the video here. Please give this video a thumbs up and post a comment down below. And I will leave a link when I get part 2 done. I will leave a link down in the description of this video so you can just jump right on over to it. Alright, so take it easy guys.